Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Raphael James. For the last few days, you've heard us talk about Jamal Sutherland. He was a mental health inmate who lost his life in the Charleston County Detention Center, the Al Cannon Detention Center, back in January. Recently, video was released of what happened, and in that video, you see officers come into his cell to try and remove him for a bond hearing, deploying pepper spray, tasers. Ultimately, Jamal Sutherland died in the jail. Ever since January, his family has been trying to get answers. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk with his mother, Amy Sutherland, about her son. And just yesterday also, we found out that those deputies had been fired. Mrs. Sutherland tells me when she heard that news, she was ecstatic.
I was about as happy as any mother could be, because I had been asking for someone to do something, because I knew that if you murder somebody, you go to jail. So if a police officer did it, why wouldn't he do the same thing? I consider that a victory for everybody out there that's going through mental health, for everybody who has children of color, because the system seemed like it was going to go against us. But God is who we depended on, and it was done. One day, of people going out to say they were going to march, and something was done that should have been done a long time ago. I think people were trying to cover up everything that happened with my child. We've been asking questions from day one, no answer, and it just went away. And we kept hearing, we'll hear. But I think until pressure's put on people, especially when it comes to politics, nobody's going to move. But once politics gets involved and you can't sit comfortably in your office anymore, then action has to be taken. So that's the only reason they took action.
What was your expectation when you sent him to the mental health facility?
My expectation had been what it usually was. Jamal has been going there for years. And I don't know if they have a new staff or what, because if Jamal ever came to a crisis, I always got a call. He would always call me and say, Mom, something's not right. He called me this time for 3 days in a row. Mom, they're going to kill me. He tried, you may not know this, he tried to get himself out. They told him that he couldn't leave. And a medical records you will find, it says he was committed by the doctor. In less than 12 hours, they threw him out. So how can a doctor commit him and you take him to jail?
Who failed Jamal in your...
The entire system. Start first with the hospital that I entrusted him to. When you leave the hospital, let's go to North Charleston,
Can we just run over here?
where they're saying that my son was in this fight. I want this on the... I want this said, my son was not in that big fight. When they booked him in, he was failed again. And when he was murdered, and there's an officer standing there, he doesn't say, y'all handle this man wrong. You're handling him wrong. So that the whole system failed Jamal. The whole system. And then when they were allowed to stay at their jobs and everything, he was failed again. When we buried him, it took us 3 months to get a death certificate. Failed again. We was begging for one. We were failed again. When they say that they don't know what killed my child, failed again. So I can go on and on for days. How much failure went on for Jamal?
While Jamal's family continues to grieve his passing, I hope our recordings of the interaction gives the family and the community confidence in the way we conducted ourselves.
When you saw Mayor Summey go on the air, what were your thoughts? He was saying his officers did everything the right way and that Jamal was still alive when North Charleston left him.
Asked him if that was his son, what he had made the same reply. If that was your son that's walking on this earth and it was done to him, would that have been a good job? Because I'm a mother, and I'm going to let him know that as a mayor, I'm disappointed that he would say they did a good job and my child dead. Some compassion should have came out of him to say, I'm sorry Jamal's not here with us any longer. He didn't have no compassion for Jamal. And I don't care about what's going on. I'm going to be honest. Where was compassion coming from these people when my child dead? And Jamal had a purpose on this earth. And he fulfilled his purpose. So then it was time for him to go home. But when he went home, then my work starts. I'm no longer his mother. I'm somebody else's advocate. So I'm going to be a mother for a million people out there who need the same help as my child. People need help. Nobody wants to be sick.